Now, it's a year of marriage between Betway Uganda and Express Football Club. The Red Eagles hope they can continue flying in the Uganda Premier League as they head into their second year of the contract. We'll as well be discussing Manchester City, who will visit Liverpool in the top of table clash in the English Premier League this weekend. And in Germany, Bayern Munich, who sacked a coach just a week ago, take on Borussia Dortmund in the Der Klassiker this weekend. Not to forget, Uganda will be hosting the Fiba 3-on-3 Africa tournament this weekend, and the Rugby Cranes are hoping they can move a step closer to qualification to the 2020 Olympics. Welcome to the Just Darren Show, all powered by Betway.
Betway's Fort to Score is back and better than ever. Play our weekly soccer predictor where you can win your share of an amazing cash prize each week. Simply choose the first goal scorers in 4 selected matches and submit your selection before the first match kicks off. Entry is free, and if the prize isn't won, it'll roll over to the following week. Bet your way with Betway.
Now, on the November 6th of the year 2018, Express FC and Betway did merge, and Betway becoming the shirt sponsors for the Red Eagles in the Uganda Premier League. And as we speak, well, they've moved a year, and they did celebrate that earlier on this month, that particular date. But Express FC, the day prior, had played out in the Uganda Premier League, featuring in a 2-2 Dragoness Maroons Football Club. The concern's still there for this George Simogere's side that they concede goals. I think they should be the team that has conceded the second highest number of goals so far in the league, 12 matches, and they've conceded 19. They've scored 17 in response, but that leaves them with a goal difference of -2 at a time where Frank Kalanda, Frank Senyondo, and the other player, that is Disan Galiwango, have been scooping the player of match honors at the different Express football games that they've played so far this season. Now, of course, as they head into the crucial bend, because there are still about 18 games to go, but 4 to wrap up the first round for the Red Eagles, there is hope that there can be change and some sanity at the back, and hopefully the side doesn't leak in as many, because luckily at the front they're able to put the ball into the back of the net, like I've just told you. But they still led 2-0 against Maroons at the Fufa Technical Center in Njeru, and that game actually was played in Njeru largely because Wankurukuku and Luzira grounds have been temporarily banned from hosting games because of the surface that hasn't been really good. I watched the game between Busoga United and Express a week earlier, and the surface wasn't really enticing to the standards of the league. So they're now playing in Njeru. That was actually a 1 p.m. kickoff in that particular sense. So a few changes going on, but hopefully Express can actually kick in gear the next time they do play, despite the fact that the football teams will be heading into the international break to let the national teams play at this particular stage. But even before that, Vipers top of the table with 30 points from 12 matches they've played. They've managed to win 9 and have been able to get 3 draws in the league so far, yet to concede defeat. Their last game they played was a 1-0 victory, and it appears that Edward Golola's side are clearly in for the run to win the title yet again. Some brilliant work that they've done so far this season. The other team to discuss, Express, in 9th place with 14 points on board, actually a point ahead of KCCA, who we got a report that they will be taking on Police Football Club this weekend, even if they're missing some key players ahead of the international break. Some news there as the Uganda Cranes do prepare to take on Burkina Faso and Malawi in a doubleheader to the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations. Other teams to discuss include Bull, who are still second in the chase for the title, second on the table after 12 games with 24 points, and Sports Club Villa, who managed to put 4 goals past Toro United earlier on Wednesday, winning 4-1 in 3rd place now as we do speak, after as well hitting the 20-point mark so far in the Uganda Premier League. Lots of talking points as we speak. Vipers having a 6-point lead at the top of the table, and some talking points as Express made a year with Betway, and of course the site is just one, www.betway.ug, to bet on all the big games across the continent. Visiting the South Africa Absa Premiership, as the leagues on the continent as well do take a break before heading to the international break next week. That will be national teams proper.
Jimmy really likes hard work. Really. It's how he gets better at what he does. It's how he learns. It's how he impresses people. And it's how he knows United are worth it this weekend at 3.2. Oh yes, Jimmy really likes hard work. Because hard work sometimes pays off.
Now the world of rugby is still over the moon after the Springboks of South Africa managed to win their record third title at the World Cup when they did beat England 32-12 in Yokohama last weekend. Many are still cheering on the first black captain ever for South Africa to win the World Cup. But we still talk rugby and still South Africa because Uganda's national sevens rugby side for the men is in Johannesburg this weekend for the Africa Men's Sevens that will be the route to the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan. Now, rugby sevens is of course one of the disciplines that will be at the Tokyo Games later on next year, and Uganda has a chance to qualify just like they did qualify for the Commonwealth Games back in Australia in 2018, as well as the Rugby Sevens World Cup last year. And of course, this time around they have a chance to qualify for the Olympic Games. They've never been there, but as well the 12-man team that Tolbert Onyango did, someone has got 4 players from the Betway Corps. That includes Joseph Aredo, Pius Ogena, Ian Munyani, and Adrian Casito, who are part of the side that will hope that they can move from position number 3, where they are ranked behind Kenya and Zimbabwe, and be able to jostle out and get that ticket and qualify for Tokyo 2020. Of course, Zimbabwe is ranked as number 1, Kenya as number 2, Uganda as number 3, and Madagascar in 4th place. But the action in Johannesburg, there is only 1 ticket available to qualify and head to the Olympic Games in Tokyo next year. Otherwise, there will be other windows, but for Uganda, this is the biggest opportunity. There is a difference. There is a change in the format of play with 14 teams coming into the picture, and it's not pool stages into the knockouts. It's rather a bit different with teams playing match-ups, and then eventually they do get the winner. Good luck to Uganda, especially that quartet from Betway Corps that involves Joseph Aredo, Pius Ogena, Ian Munyani, and of course Adrian Casito there. Good luck, Team Uganda.
We're giving you the chance to boost your multi-bet winnings by up to 100%. To activate your boost, create your bet slip, check your boost, and place your bet. It's that simple. The more selections you add, the bigger your boost. Visit Betway online now. Betway, for the love of the game.
Now, while the quartet is away in South Africa, the Betway Corps will be taking on the Plascon Mongers in the semi-finals of the Uganda Cup at the Kings Park Stadium. That's in Bweyogerere, and that's after the Hima Heathens have played up the first semi-final to see who will be in the final when they take on the Pirates in that one. But moving away and discussing the other disciplines, including basketball. Now, like rugby that has the shorter code, which is the 7s format compared to the 15s format, there is also in cricket. Cricket has been narrowed down from test cricket, which is played across 5 days, to limited overs cricket or ODI cricket, which are one-day internationals, and there they do play 50 overs per side. There is also the T20 that many do call the boom boom format, and also now cricket has narrowed down to the 6s, which is just 6 overs per team, as they do make the games as enjoyable as possible, specifically for the fans and for the players. Now in basketball, the newest format is called the 3-on-3 format. You may call it the same format like that in football, which is 5-a-side football. Now in basketball, they do play half the court in 3-on-3 basketball, and that one has a team of 4 players but only 3 on court. They do use a 12-second shot clock. And what else can I say? If a team does win possession within the arc, they've got to move out of the arc before they shoot. And it is raised to 21 points. But if they are tied at 20 points, they're obviously going to go for a sudden death. And a match goes for 10 minutes to be exact. So those are some of the rules in the 3-on-3 basketball. Now Uganda will be hosting the Africa Cup, the Fiba Africa 3-on-3 Championships, and about 14 teams are expected this weekend until Sunday to be taking part in that particular tournament. And Uganda, with the team coordinator that is Hamza Nyambogo for the 3-3, hoping that they can maximize home advantage, considering the ladies are ranked number 1 on the continent, the men are ranked number 2 behind Egypt on the continent, and despite the fact that there have been some injuries like Jonathan Egao for the men, there is still hope that they will put out a strong unit to outmuscle every other opponent to the silverware. And also in the women's category, Rita Imanshimwe, one of the pillars for the side, hoping that the side can go on and be able to replicate and pick some victories here. Of course, the 3-3 teams have been away in Doha, Qatar for the World Beach Games, and recently at the World University Games that were played recently. So quite a lot that has been going on in the 3-3 format, and Uganda hoping they can maximize home advantage this weekend in the championship. It is 2 formats for the under 18 category and the open format, where you could use all players above the age of 18, and that's regardless. Well, not to forget that on www.betway.ug you can still bet on the NBA basketball and several other basketball tournaments across the continent and Africa, Europe, as well as USA. Odds available on www.betway.ug, as it is 21 years since Michael Jordan threw his last basket for the Chicago Bulls. Now, after 11 games that have been played in the English Premier League, only Liverpool remains unbeaten, top of the table with 31 points on board. And I must tell you, in the previous games they've been playing, they've been fighting. Look at the result they got against Aston Villa last weekend. Both goals came after the 87th minute, as they came from a goal down to win at Villa Park 2-1. It was the same story against Tottenham Hotspur. They conceded early but needed that late penalty from Mohamed Salah for them to win 2-1. Adam Lallana netted late for them to get a point at Old Trafford against Manchester United, and it was the same story with a 95th minute penalty from James Milner as they did defeat Leicester City at Anfield. That has been the story for Liverpool. They've been struggling to get results. They've been fighting tooth and nail to keep that unbeaten run so far. Well, I must tell you that even if they've had the draw against Manchester United, they seem to still be cruising as things are. Just a draw and 10 wins, and guess what? They face the biggest opponent this season so far in the English Premier League, is Manchester City on Sunday. They do host them at Anfield, a place where the forward Sadio Mane hasn't lost a Premier League game since he signed for Liverpool. Now, Man City is only 6 points behind Liverpool. They're still trailing following defeats to Wolverhampton Wanderers at home, where they lost 2-0, and the 3-2 defeat that they suffered against Norwich City. That is the gap that has been created between the two teams. Of course, Man City will hope they can cut the gap before they head into the international break this weekend. However, for Liverpool, on the other hand, they hope that they can maintain the status quo. Jurgen Klopp has always been a hard nut to crack for Pep Guardiola, and this time round as we speak, Klopp against Pep, last season there were 4 points that Man City managed to take. Of course, they played out a draw at Anfield before winning 2-1 at the Etihad, and then the two teams still met again in the Community Shield back on August the 4th. Man City drawing with Liverpool before, of course, it went into penalties and City managed to take the Community Shield. As we speak, Liverpool are the champions of Europe. Man City hoping that they can hold on to the treble that they won in England last season. And when you look at the odds on www.betway.ug, the odd for Liverpool to win is higher than that for Man City, even if City is away from home and Liverpool is at home. And I actually think it is one simple reason. It is hard to imagine Liverpool beating Man City early in the season and going 9 points clear at the top of the table. If they do that, we could still be saying the champagne is already on the ice even before we get to the halfway stage of the road to the Premier League title. But Liverpool as well have their order at 2.76 on www.betway.ug, and that for Man City at 2.47 for a draw, which I actually think will be the highly outcome from this particular result, is at 3.54 for both teams to play out a draw. I actually think both teams will turn out to try and play entertaining football. Expect some tactics, especially from both managers, to exploit the wing backs. That is, for the left back row, Benjamin Mendy, and on the right, Kyle Walker. Liverpool hopes that they can capitalize on those spaces using the pace of players like Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah, with Bobby, Roberto Firmino trying to break that backline that has been shaky over the previous games. On the other hand, still for Liverpool, they hope that they can do the same thing. That is, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Alexander Robertson, City capitalizing on the spaces that those will have left right behind, especially on the counter-attack. So who bosses the midfield? That's another question. We'll wait and see. Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, and Gini Wijnaldum in that pack for Liverpool. And then on the other side for Manchester City, you've got names like Fernandinho, Kevin De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva to try and orchestrate that pack and see both teams and see the side City getting the victory away in Merseyside. It is a crunch tie that will determine lots and perhaps shape the debate as we head into the festive season. And considering Liverpool will be away at the FIFA Club World Cup in Qatar, this turns out to be a really crucial encounter at Anfield. The odds are available on www.betway.ug. I feel Sadio Mane could be on the score sheet. He's been a man on form, but Roberto Firmino is a man that is not forgotten. On the other hand, Sergio Aguero is a man that loves to score against the big sides. Can he do it this weekend? You could bet on him for any time scorer. But the other matches that will be played that we can't talk about, including Manchester United, who are in 10th place. They will be taking on the side that is Brighton at Old Trafford. That comes up early on Sunday. The odd for United to get back to winning ways is at 1.60, and that for Brighton at 6.10. For a draw, it is at 3.86. And on Saturday, the earlier game you can't talk about is Chelsea, who do take on Crystal Palace. Chelsea, of course, are coming off a shocking 4-4 draw against Ajax Amsterdam, and they managed to pick the result against Watford at the weekend. Frank Lampard will hope that the strikers like Tammy Abraham can actually get the goals and get going against Palace, who have seemed really stubborn against the big outfits. The other teams to discuss include Arsenal, who will be taking on the side that is Leicester City. Leicester City is actually in 3rd place ahead of Chelsea by virtue of goal difference, considering that they put 9 goals past Southampton, and last weekend they managed to leave it late with a 2-0 victory against Crystal Palace. Leicester is riding high on form. Jamie Vardy has 10 goals to his name and is top of the top scorers charts, and he will be hoping that he can do the same thing against Arsenal, who of course did play out a 1-0 draw in the UEFA Europa League against Victoria early on this week. There's so many games that you can't talk about. All odds available on www.betway.ug in the English Premier League. But we'll take a break, and when we return, we'll be talking the German Bundesliga.
Jimmy really likes hard work. Really. It's how he gets better at what he does. It's how he learns. It's how he impresses people. And it's how he knows United are worth it this weekend at 3.2. Oh yes, Jimmy really likes hard work. Because hard work sometimes pays off.
Now in the German Bundesliga, it's not Borussia Dortmund or Bayern Munich who is top of the charts after 10 matches that they've played. Interestingly, Borussia Dortmund is second, right behind Borussia Mönchengladbach, who on 22 points. Dortmund, 3 points adrift on 19, and then the rest of the pack does follow. Now, where's Bayern Munich? Well, they are tied with Leipzig on 18 points, but have got an inferior goal difference. So in 4th place, and that's after they suffered a 5-1 shocking defeat to Eintracht Frankfurt last weekend, and that led to the sack of Niko Kovac. As we speak, Dieter Flick is the new coach for the side that is Bayern Munich, and he will be the interim manager as they take on Borussia Dortmund in what is termed as the El Clasico of Germany, or the La Classique of the Germans. It's called the De Classica. It comes up this weekend at the Allianz Arena as Bayern does host Dortmund. All odds do favor Bayern Munich at home to win this one, but the pundits are going for Dortmund to continue their run. They've had 3 successive clean sheets and are hoping that they can shut out Bayern Munich, despite the fact that the big man for Bayern Munich, Robert Lewandowski, has been scoring in all the 10 games this season. He's actually broken the Bundesliga record that was previously held by the man that is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, now the current captain of Arsenal Football Club, where he managed to score in 8 successive games. Lewandowski has scored in 10 successive games and leads the charts with 12 goals to his name, And guess what? His form makes it even harder for Dortmund to smile at Bayern, because the last time Dortmund won at Bayern was about 2 years ago in the German Cup semi-final, winning there 3-2. And actually, it is the same score that they picked in midweek as they came from down to beat Inter Milan 3-2 in the UEFA Champions League. So they are hoping that they can ride on that luck. Names like Marco Reus, Ashraf Hakimi netted a brace in that victory. Players like Jadon Sancho have got the pace. Marco Reus has been a key figure in that one. He's already had 5 goals to his name in the Bundesliga this season, as well as the striker that came through from Spain, Paco Alsatse. He also has 5 goals to his name. So who'll be winning this one? I have a feeling that both teams, the safest odd on www.betway.ug is both teams will score. That is a guarantee. Now, what else does follow? I think that even if Bayern Munich are at home, they are not in the perfect shape to take on Borussia Dortmund. So Dortmund, even if the odd on www.betway.ug is at 5.24, I still fancy them to be the favorites to win this one, though Bayern Munich has their odd at 1.55. Does Bayern sound a response? Do they sound the drums across Germany with a victory? It is also possible. Do not forget that in the previous match that they had, Jerome Boateng was sent off after just 9 minutes. They went on to concede 5. Dortmund know how to put the ball into the back of the net. Bayern have conceded 16 goals so far this season, and wait to see if they can be smart. And for Dortmund, on the other hand, even if they have 19 points on board, should they slip up, they could fall several positions down the charts, considering that Bayern Leverkusen, who are in 10th place, are only 4 points behind Dortmund, who are in 2nd place. Now that's quite intriguing and interesting at the top of the table. But the other matches that will be played in the Bundesliga this weekend, including the fixture that has the side that is Borussia Mönchengladbach, who are top of the table, taking on Werder Bremen. The odd for Gladbach to win at home is at 1.81. That for Frankfurt, who put 5 past Bayern last weekend, they do visit Freiburg on Sunday. Their odd is at 2.41 away from home. Wolfsburg does entertain Bayer Leverkusen, and I fancy a draw in this one. The odd is at 3.44. You can bet on the other matches, including Schalke 04, who will take on Fortuna Düsseldorf, and Schalke at home with their odd at 1.51. Leipzig are in the capital, Berlin, taking on Hertha Berlin with their odd at 1.79, and for Berlin to win at home, it is at 4.25, much higher than a draw, which is at 3.91. Now, it's not only in Germany where there are big games. I've already told you in England, Manchester City will be taking on Liverpool at Anfield on Sunday. Now, in France, there is Olympique Lyon that does take on Olympique Marseille. They do visit them. Of course, Lyon has a new coach in Rudi Garcia, and Ray Villas-Boas for Olympique Marseille has been struggling to get the results. Even if Marseille is 4th, many are tipping Lyon to be the favorites in this one away from home. The man that is Memphis Depay is on form. He scored in all the last 4 matches for Lyon across all competitions, including the UEFA Champions League, where he did score against Benfica Lyon this week. Now, there are so many other fixtures that you can talk about, including Barcelona, who hope they can get back to winning ways after a draw against Slavia Prague in the Champions League in midweek, and then the defeat to Levante, losing 3-1 last weekend. All odds available on www.betway.ug. You can bet on all the leagues across Europe, Asia, South America, Africa, just right before getting to the international break next week. And just do not forget, it's just Darren.